I'm going to ask this one of you, Chris. What's the project you're personally most proud of? And it doesn't necessarily have to have been at your tenure here with PWD. It could be previous times, you know.
Okay, so the one that I'm most proud of, and you already know it because I always say it, but WA Spaceport.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm really proud of it, not only is it an amazing project and it has a lot of like presence and it's got a lot of awareness attached to it, but when a project like that comes in, we were so excited to have that project in the house, but there was an overwhelming sense of responsibility to get it right. So I think from a challenge standpoint, it was perfect because it opened up all these different channels where, you know, if you have a project where you have kind of like parameters already kind of locked in, then you know what you have to do. But with WA Spaceport, they came in kind of with a vision and they had a little bit of kind of some of the heavy lifting was done, but we brought so much more to that kind of project.
Yeah.
Brought a lot to the table.
Yeah.
And I remember it was really interesting when we were pitching the project. It was COVID time because I was home and I remember being home on my computer. And I remember Chris was coming in to pitch the client and they had done a piece of media, which was basically kind of their mission statement, which is like our home, our only one, you know, we've been here for a long time and we need to go to the stars now. That's kind of the general gist of it. And I took that media and I recorded my voice over the top of it in that real low tone and everything and added a little bit of music to it. And so when they played it, I had Chris turn the lights off. And basically that was their first introduction to our pitch. Was I kind of took that media and changed it into something by just adding a little bit of voiceover. And I think they got it. The second that we kind of presented that type of pitch, they got that we cared about the project a lot. Like we were completely invested and that we were the right people to kind of come to the table to produce this for them. So,
yeah. And I think that's like, you know, for other agencies that potentially are watching this, or I guess even individuals that are out trying to sort of sell websites, you know, that website from a ticket point of view was pretty up there. And I guess if there's any sort of secret sauce when it comes to selling digital products is, you know, when a client can see that true belief and buy-in from the vendor, 100%. From the agency, and that enthusiasm and that excitement and that, you know, that all of a sudden the dollar amount becomes less important because, you know, they can just see you're so mentally invested and, you know, you want the greatest outcome for them, that it's not just another one through the system. Right. You know, it's and that project in my view was a unicorn in a lot of ways. Unicorn in the fact that it's such a unique thing. You know, it's not a plumber or a roof carpenter or something like that, right? It's super.
First commercial spaceport in Australia.
Yeah, one
like that.
Yeah,
that was such a huge undertaking, but it was just, and it was a joy. The entire project was just so smooth. You know, working with Mark and April, they got it. You know, and we had such a good.
And he was amazing. I mean, his technical expertise. You know, so if you haven't seen the website, go have a look. waspaceball.com.au. You know, she's doing big things and she is literally building the first commercial spaceport down in the Albany region and is getting runs on the boards. Yeah. We'll move on. I guess for me, one of the probably the more recent projects that we've worked on, where for me it was solving a problem and it was achieving something quite meaningful, was for NIT, National Indigenous Times. Oh, yeah. The issue they had when they approached us was the website had some security issues, it was falling over, the hosting was becoming incredibly expensive, the site wasn't making any money, and was really becoming unusable. They had a lot of journalists in-house that needed to publish content and stories continually, like 8 to 12 a day. Yep. You know, they essentially wanted to become a Indigenous-owned, Indigenous news masthead, and a well-respected one at that. So we had to come up with a tech stack that was going to be scalable, it was going to be reliable, it's going to be safe, secure, and also, most importantly, start to make money. Yep. Now, of course, I can't disclose the numbers that site now makes, but it is light years away from where it was.
It's a good feeling, too, when you see that kind of success. Yeah. When you see all that kind of hard work and research and development and doing it the right way and then seeing the success from it.
We brought in the A team and, you know, that client has been on board with us for the last 2.5, 3 years or so. we obviously maintain that website, and we're building an app for it as well. So, but at the end of the day, we gave the client what they, achieved. They had those goals, they had problems, they sought out other providers, had limited success at trying to resolve the problem.
Yeah.
And again, I guess, going down to those providers that had quoted against us, or, had actually won work prior to us, but then got essentially dismissed, is they'd all undersold their projects, and undersold themselves.
Yeah.
They'd undersold the tech, they'd undersold, we were told after the fact that we were 2.5 times the price of their other vendors that they'd played with. But at the end of the day, when it works,
I reckon
they don't care.
I reckon that shows confidence, though. I think there's something about kind of selling yourself in a place where you feel that you have that value to that client. And because of that, there's a level of confidence added to it.
But the point I'm making, we didn't overcharge.
No.
Right. But we charged and to be fair, I still think, for us, the amount of time and effort and, the hours that we accrued logged against that project.
Sure.
It wasn't a high profit project by any means.
No.
If anything, it ran pretty close to the wire. But I feel a lot of agencies either sell themselves short, you're right, they don't have that confidence in themselves, or they've misunderstood they're so excited about getting the sale, they've misunderstood the brief.
Right.
And they've just gone so excitedly at it and thrown a number and, got excited they want a client, but then really they've run out of time and resources to actually deliver the project, which we've 100% been guilty of ourselves, me many a time, because I would just get excited about a project.
Totally.
And I think one of the phrases that our general manager here, Olivia, would repeatedly say is no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's very true. So again, if you're an agency or an individual, don't discount, don't give stuff away for free, because it will invariably bite you in the backside.
And I think what you said too has and same for WA Spaceport, it created a relationship with that client,
100%.
Which is continuing to this day.
And trust.
And that's the thing.
Laid the foundation trust. We said what we're going to do.
And we
delivered it.
Yeah.
We've supported it. We've backed it up. We've definitely had our moments. There's quite a few stakeholders in that business with different levels of technical understanding and experience.
Sure.
Who obviously didn't like things to change. They liked the old system they were on.
That's a tough run.
We obviously built them a proprietary system, which was bespoke to them. But now that they've become familiar with it and have used it enough, and of course, we've given enough training and guidance, they're running on their own 2 feet, which is great.